Hey everyone, before I get started, I just want to remind you that if you like my content, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and then join the Militia Man and Crew Patreon community by clicking the link in the caption. Good evening everybody, Militia Man and Crew here. It's Wednesday. Just want to say, hey, we're at hump day. Let's get moving, and we're going to get into some really good news. Our wonderful Samson, she's been knocking it dead today. I think everybody probably realizes that, you know, the timing of so many things converging is phenomenal. So I'm going to just pretty much jump right in, but I want to say thank you to all you Patreon members for all your support and for being with us. And I want to also tell you that our patreon.com/MM&C-Crew is welcoming everybody. I think this is a time to where that if you're not involved and if you're just sitting on the sidelines and just paying attention from afar, it's time to come on in and check it out, see what happens, okay? Because what we have in our Discord chat room and our forum in Patreon is a lot of good information, and you can find all the articles that I read to you the best I can. You'll find them there, so you can see what we're talking about. It's pretty good stuff, okay? So thank you, welcome, and again, for all you people that have been so kind and keeping this forum going, thank you for your donations. It's been appreciative, okay? Thank you. This article is about the Kurdistan Regional Government Council of Ministers confirmed today, which is Wednesday, that it will fulfill all of its obligations regarding the issue of employee salaries. We've been watching for this. There's months behind, and there's some unrest that's been going on, etc. Aside from in the region, there's unrest, but everything seems to be calm, cool, and collected. Al-Sudani has been phenomenal in making sure that everybody's on the same page. He's been to Jordan and back in one day. You see the news articles about Syria. They've had some change in their circumstances, but one of the things that everybody in the region is focused in on, and the world, is this development road project, okay? And that is a really big component. So anyway, today they held their regular session today. It says that the Kurdistan Regional Government is continuing its efforts with the federal government to provide financial dues for its employees. So they're probably reassuring everybody, hey, you know, we've been talking about this, but hey, it's push come to shove. But as it awaits the sending of salaries for the months of October, November, December, and when? As soon as possible. This is all about timing, everybody. This whole, the theme you're going to probably hear and see, it's about timing. Council of Ministers in the region called on the federal counterpart in Baghdad to solve the problem of the salary deficit radically in its next session, which will be held in Baghdad tomorrow, Thursday, in accordance with the powers granted to it in accordance with Article 60 of the Iraqi General Budget Law. Okay, so anyway, basically, I do not think this is an amendment that they need to do or will be doing. I think that what they've already done needs to be exposed. That's where I believe. Okay, so we're going to find out how it turns out. That's all we can do is watch and see what they say and how they do it. And here's an article from the central bank. It's the announcement of the central bank's remittance auction numbered B321 with a term of 14 days. Keep in mind, they start off talking about when. That's going to be Sunday, 12/15/2024. But this 14 days, it looks like it got started on 12/3/2024. So we're going to see what that means, and this is via their BSR system. So ultimately, if they did do it as of, or stated they did it as of the 11/28 time frame, if you watch that window getting towards the 15, December 15th, which is coming this coming Sunday, they're going to have the execution of that done. And if that's what this article represents by the central bank, the timing is here again. That execution date is going to be the 15th, and I believe that those remittance auctions will cease. The interpretation very well could be that may be the last you see of the dollar auctions that we see. Because one of the articles we're going to talk about is the fact that they're pushing towards getting rid of the illegal market, smuggling, etc. But we'll get to that. This article, Government Advisor, it's tighter controls on suspicious money transfers. Here it is right here. Okay. Controls on suspicious money transfers reduce exchange rate manipulation. So we're talking about exchange rate. The advisor to the Prime Minister, Mohammed Saleh, he confirmed again today, Wednesday, that tightening the control over suspicious financial transfers reduces manipulation of the exchange rate and the stability of the national currency, while indicating that limiting speculation reduces the use of foreign currencies in an unproductive operational manner. The Prime Minister's directives to the monetary and financial authorities stress the intensification of inspection and control procedures for financial transfers and monitoring speculators. They go on to say there's great importance in enhancing currency stability and reducing that speculation that is harmful to the national economy through mechanisms. I like that part, through mechanisms. What it's doing is it's leading to combating illegal, speculative activities, including specifically tightening control over suspicious financial transfers that conflict with the rules of compliance and transparency in a manner that reduces illegal activities, such as money smuggling, manipulation of exchange rates, which maintains the stability of the value of the national currency. Think about it though. If those things are actively still ongoing, it's not doing Iraq any good, period. So he adds that taking strict measures against speculators and manipulators in the currency market strengthens confidence in the financial system and demonstrates the strength of the government policy in protecting the national economy and increases the confidence of the citizens and investors in the country's financial system. So if it's going to create confidence for the citizens, it's going to create confidence for the investors. Okay. He goes on and says, directing resources towards the real economy to invest in the available opportunities in it, whether it's industrial, agricultural, or service. It says, by limiting the speculation, the use of foreign currencies in unproductive operations is reduced. So, which effectively will do what? Helps to provide the country them to finance imports and or benefit investments. Okay, so basically what is it doing? It's enhancing the stability of the local market, which, and again, is really important. It says the importance of limiting speculation and speculators' opportunities remain in enhancing the efficiency of the banking system as we know it, right? And they're doing this through the role of monitoring the transfers with these new systems, these new mechanisms that they have. So anyway, undoubtedly what it contributes to is revealing the loopholes in the banking system and enhancing governance and transparency in it, as such measures are in line with the comprehensive reform for the financial and banking sector. And there is the aim to enhance financial stability and prevent violations that negatively affect the national economy. So what are they talking about? They're talking about ridding the black market, effectively, the parallel market. It's an illegal market, and they just are done with it. They're getting ready to get rid of the system that they have right now and allowing the speculators to manipulate the price of the dinar, etc. So ultimately, the cessation of these auctions of the dollar and the legal trade, it's going to do wonders, and that's their focus, and they're not deviating. So Soleil, he's been talking about these things for quite some time, and now it's, again, that's timing, and push comes to shove. The country's moving forward on all their initiatives, and it's fascinating to know that there's a lot of people in the wings, even tonight, that are paying attention, and for good reason. So anyway, we'll get to that part too. But here's another article that's interesting. It's Parliament and Government. There's a race for the 2025 budget. And this is another thing about timing. This statement indicates that the reasons for the delay are related to reviews of financial schedules, especially those related to oil extraction and expenses in the Kurdistan region and the costs of the projects that are funded for 2025. The financial management law requires the government to submit the general budget to the Council of Representatives for 45 days before the beginning of the fiscal year. Interesting timing, 45 days before the end of the fiscal year. Well, their fiscal year is coming up real quick, but if they have the opportunity to use all of the first month of January, if you look at it in a standpoint of that last remittance auctions are supposed to be on or executed on Sunday, the 15th, you go out about 45 days, and where do you get? Just before the end of the month in January, right? There we go. So we're going to have to see if that's how they're playing this. It says the financial management law requires the government to submit the general budget to the Council of Representatives 45 days before the beginning of the fiscal year in order to allow the necessary time to discuss and approve it. Despite the clarity and explicitness of the legal text, no Iraqi government, including the current government, has committed to implementing this entitlement. Well, are they about to? I'm going to find that out. It says, speaking about the file, this member of the Parliamentary Finance Committee, Mustafa Al-Karawi, he quotes, he reveals the existence of legal and constitutional violations by the government in sending the budget law to the House of Representatives. He goes on to say that Article 77, Paragraph 2 of the Federal Triennial Budget Law, tripartite budget, indicated that the government must send the budget tables before the end of the fiscal year. So they send the budget before the end of the fiscal year. 12/15 is before the end of the fiscal year. See how that works? Indicating that the government sent only one amendment to the text of the budget, which is the text of Article 12. And that's related to the cost of extracting oil in the region. So look, Article 12 is important because it's about the oil moving, and that's going to be about the Kurdistan region, and it's going to be about the federal government. So he adds that not sending the schedules on time is considered a legal and constitutional violation. So there's a priority probably for al-Sudani to make sure that this is on time and done properly and accordingly. The world's watching, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. So if the government proceeds with the amendments to the articles, there are many articles that need to be amended and to be fair to many groups. Well, they've probably already done that because this paragraph here kind of contradicts this, but they only said one, Article 12. So my focus is going to be an amendment only for Article 12 to have the key component that we're looking for, so to speak, the Rosetta Stone. We recorded all of these observations in the last session on Tuesday during the first reading of the amendment to the budget law. So that, again, they talk about an amendment. They didn't say multiple or future ones. They're talking about an amendment to the budget law. And on we go. It says the government has a point of view in resolving these issues with the region, limiting oil smuggling operations by increasing production costs by $16 a barrel. So that $16, we've already known about that for quite some time. I think that's been taken care of. So it's not necessarily what they're talking about here is more political than technical. Here's a paragraph that says, during the discussion of the proposal, we raised several questions. Why was it set at $16? Is it a technical or political consensus number? So there we have it. So there's people, if they're talking about amending, it's a political side. It's not the technical side. Remember, there's auditors involved in this. Iraq's oil and assets and others need to be accounted for and audited. And we've seen the Ernst & Young being there about restructuring banks. Oliver Wyman company. I think there might be another one called McKinley, but regardless, that's what they're talking about. It's noteworthy that the House of Representatives previously hosted the Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani and his deputies, the Minister of Planning, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the Ministry of Interior, where the amendments to the budget for next year, 2025, were discussed. So all three of those entities, al-Sudani and three other ministries, we already knew that they did that, and they already discussed it. So adding on these new amendments, is that a political thing or is it a technical thing? It's more of a political thing. There's still some people out there that just don't want Iraq to move forward, because the status quo, the way it's going, is that they're making nothing but money by stealing money from the government, in my opinion. Okay, so basically, again, I'm not sure that there's going to be any amendments for the budget. I think they're already done. I think that al-Sudani and his ministries, having met recently in the dome, under the dome, there's no more room for political banter or inhibitions to move forward with Article 12 of the budget. I think that's a pretty obvious fact. It's a big deal. Okay, so anyway, the article's basically talking about sequestering the black market or the parallel market and the execution of remittances in dollar terms this Sunday. It may be a very key time to watch, and we're going to see how this turns out. And so forth. We're going to go on to another article. It's called The Difficult Situation for the Kurdish employees. The Parliamentary Finance talks about the issue of salaries has not been radically resolved. And what are they saying? They confirmed today that the crisis of financing the salaries of the Kurdistan region has not been resolved yet. And basically what it's talking about, it's been a difficult situation, has been the result of the lack of dispersing salaries. But it says the salaries of November, again, have not yet been funded. So what are we going to talk about? They're going to be talking about getting that taken care of. What they're going to got October, November, December. Okay. Basically what this article is basically suggesting is that they require a real stand from the decision makers to end this crisis and get the salaries on time. And you can tell that everybody's waiting for it. So what? The federal court, in accordance with a decision issued in February of 2024, that's quite some time ago, had obligated both the federal Prime Minister, Mohammed Shia al-Sudani, and the head of the regional government to pay the salaries of the Kurdistan employees without any delay. That didn't happen, but here we are. Now we're going to see if these guys, again, push comes to shove, and timing. The Kurdistan regional government is continuing its efforts with the federal government to provide financial dues to its employees as it awaits the sending for the months of October, November, and December, and when, they say here, as soon as possible. It says the Council of Ministers in the region called on its federal counterpart in Baghdad to solve the problem of the salary deficit radically in this next session, which will be held in Baghdad tomorrow, Thursday. And what are they going to be doing it? They're going to be doing it in accordance with the powers granted to it in accordance with Article 60 of the Iraq General Budget. So basically, it's a difficult situation that Al-Iraq is in. Can this situation coincide with key issues that are underway? The holdup for the last 3 months lies in the budget, in my view, and is likely just that, Article 12. Is that the key? Is that the Rosetta Stone, if you will? It sure looks really good, you guys. It looks good, because if that key is what we're looking for, and that Article 12 happens to be specifically related to the exchange rate, I think everybody in the world's paying attention. So we're going to find out. Al-Sudani receives a delegation from the U.S. State Department. And this is a little bit sidebar, but it says during this meeting, the emphasis was placed on joint coordination regarding the situation in Syria and the importance of having a transitional phase that includes all parties and preserves the rights of all components in order to consolidate stability within Syria. The Prime Minister stresses that Iraq is playing its role in communicating with brothers and friends to consult on the Syrian situation and the importance of respecting the will of the Syrian people in determining their future. It says, for his part, the American delegation states that Iraq is a key partner in the region. The importance of consulting with it regarding developments in events. He also expressed the commitment of the international coalition to protect Iraq's security, sovereignty from any external threat. So basically what happened in Syria seems to me that everybody in the whole region wants to keep it contained, no different than what we see in two other countries, or three. But anyway, they're moving forward with it. He says, I basically can look at it like this. Iraq's a mediator, and they're taking that role of being that negotiator, if you will, and al-Sudani has clearly stated and shown that he has that ability to calm people, cool everybody down, and keep the stability. Why? Because everybody in the region wants business to flow. The Development Road Project is going to be basically a sign of liberty, because it's going to bring investors and tourism. Security and stability is going in throughout the region is going to help maintain that dynamic, which is going to be the money is going to flow. And that's what they need. There's a lot of poverty. There's a lot of things that need to be taken care of. And a lot of people have been suffering for a long period of time. The salaries, for instance, a lot of people have been hurting. And they're getting upset about it. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. But al-Sudani, he's probably had his back up against the wall long enough. And now he's came to that meeting the other day under the dome with everybody in his ministries, right? And what are they talking about? They were talking about the 2024 budget investment side. Collectively, the tripartite budget. And this last article is talking about something that's big, as far as I can tell you guys. It's like, look, they're talking about having an historic event in Basra. And more than 140 ambassadors in the province are visiting, and they showed up today or tonight, today my time, Iraq's time in the nighttime, that they were showing up. 140 ambassadors around the world. Here it says, a visit by more than 140 ambassadors and charges d'affaires, as well as international organizations, to see the reality of the government. So they're coming to see the reality of what's going on. It says the head of the Cultural Media Committee in Basra Provincial Council, his name is Faraji, he describes this visit as a historic event, while pointing out that it will open the door for major international companies to invest in the province. It sounds like going Article 8 compliant, doesn't it? It does to me. Okay, he goes on and says the ambassador's visit to the government will last for 3 days. So tonight, so we add 3 days. And he says, we aspire to open horizons of cooperation with these countries in the field of construction services. Well, isn't that what the Development Road Project's about? Construction, reconstruction services? Absolutely. He explains that the diplomatic delegation will arrive in government this evening, and they represent many countries, whether ambassadors, charge d'affaires, or deputy ambassadors, in addition to the World Bank, UNESCO, UNESCO, and UNICEF, right? Unbelievable stuff. Don't forget, Al-Alaq had a meeting today also with the IFC. That's huge, you guys. It's major. So pay attention, come into our room and check it out at patreon.com with Militia Man and Crew. It goes on to say that there's been news about the government has reached all countries of the world. That's big. All countries of the world, due to the progress it has achieved in sectors, infrastructure, and investments. So today, it will be a destination for diplomats on a trip to see the development there, and we in Basra government have completed preparations for this event. Think about it for a minute. What's in Basra? Isn't that where the Port of Fa is? I believe it is. I think they have some of the largest income in the whole country going through there. All right, so anyway, basically what we've been doing is we're watching unfold in the news that seems to be reliable and accurate. What we believe, we report what's reliable and accurate, and that things are converging regarding timelines. To me, this is looking to be massive because, look, 140 ambassadors, in addition to the World Bank, UNESCO, UNICEF, may all be waiting for the key to be unlocked. That Rosetta Stone that I talked about, shown to who? The world. They are arriving, and they're doing it for a 3-day visit. You say, well, why now? Why this weekend? Is it all timed accordingly? It looks to be a powerful show that's coming about to us. So think about that, you guys. You have the auctions supposedly being executed on Sunday. You have tomorrow an important issue regarding the 2024 budget on the table in Parliament in that session. And we all know that they've already talked about the budget. And then ultimately they're going to move towards showing what they've done and how they're going to do it. And that's a big deal. So look, everything that we've been talking about, even that session tomorrow is a key importance, right? Whether they publicly tell us what they've done or not done is to be determined. But we all know that there's 140 ambassadors already started arriving for a celebration in Basra. For what? An historic event, inclusive the UNESCO, UNICEF, the World Bank, deputy ambassadors, etc., etc. So why would they all be there? For what? Because they're going to showcase for all the investors. That's what I see. What are they going to showcase? Iraq's basically sounding like they're going to open to the world. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited, and I'm going to white knuckle it for a few days. And let's watch what they do. Let's watch what they say. I would not be surprised if Al-Alaq, having that meeting with the IFC, which is a leg or an arm of the World Bank, has to deal with accounting, auditing, all of those things, because things are going to change. And we're not talking about using the dollar. They're talking about getting rid of the dollar, and they're talking about getting rid of the parallel market. So that ultimately, what's that mean? They're going to use the dinar. That's my view on it. We'll see how it turns out. Thank you guys for being with me. I appreciate it. Hey, by the way, as they say, smash that like button if you like my content. And also, thank you again. Like I said in the beginning, everybody's donations help keep this going, and it will keep coming with your help. And we have PayPal, Zelle, and Venmo for that to happen. So check out the details in my videos, and also turn on your notifications so that you can get updates. We appreciate that, and have a good evening. Take care. Once again, guys, don't forget to hit that like button if you like this content, subscribe to the channel, or join us at the Militia Man and Crew Patreon community for even more exclusive content. You can also donate to this channel by hitting the links in the banner to help keep this page up and running. Your generous support is greatly appreciated, as always. Much, much appreciated. Thank you so much, and have a great day.